Senator Heinrich.
General O'Shaughnessy, forgive me for jumping back and forth between Intel and this committee this morning. There's a little bit of something going on over there as well. I wanted to return to something that Senator Blumenthal came up and just make sure I have the correct information, that you were not consulted by the White House before the decision to use military construction dollars to pay for the national emergency.
No, sir, that was not my response. Specifically, we've been in dialogue. I've been in dialogue with the President all the way down for multiple occasions, to include in coordination with the Secretary of Defense. And that the actual decision of how that funding will be placed is actually what the Secretary of Defense is actually working through literally right now.
Were you consulted before the announcement?
With multiple dialogues, talking about the border, talking about the situation that we see, our ability to have the operational perspective known was absolutely present.
No, my question is, were you consulted as to using military construction dollars as the source of funding to pay for the national emergency efforts?
Yes, and in fact, with the Secretary of Defense.
That's a decision you support?
I gave my best military advice to the Secretary of Defense to include physically going down with him to the border, so to make sure he understood the operational perspective.
If those dollars do flow to that priority rather than what they were appropriated for and authorized for, what impact would the cancellation of some of those construction projects have, whether it's for military housing or air traffic control improvements or even runway upgrades? What impact would that have on military morale?
I think right now, Senator, that's premature. I think as we look at it, that's exactly the types of things that the Secretary is looking at. He's looking at it from what is the right balance, what is the right use of those funds, and what would the correct funds be, appropriate funds to use, given the direction that he has been given.
Well, given the Constitution, I would suggest that's a job for Congress.
Sure.